It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adaraka, Accra. It's also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the globe on citinewsroom.com. I am Wilma Obuobisa Coleman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Charles Owusu Kumi.
Coming up over the next 1 hour, Health Minister Kweku Agyemang-Manu fails to appear before the Health Committee of Parliament to answer questions on the shortage of vaccines across the country.
Fortunately for us this morning, the Minister of Health is not here, the Ghana Health Service is not here, the Vaccine Control Program not here.
Also coming up, Tamale High Court sets April 4 to begin definite hearing of procurement breaches involving officials of the Northern Development Authority.
This morning's business has been to do what we call case management, which we just finished. What it means is that we've gone through all the documents the state intends to rely on from the beginning to the end of the trial. And the case has been appropriately adjourned to 4th, 5th, and 6th of April for definite hearing.
Still ahead, government reaffirms its commitment to prosecuting Galamsey Queen Aisha Wan as 6 witnesses have been called so far.
The Attorney General is taking a personal interest in the prosecution of Aisha Wan, and I've been very interested in that as well. I've been to court to witness the proceedings in court.
And later, pupils of Akofa MAJHS in the whole municipality forced to study at the mercy of the weather as classrooms are locked up by the contractor over government's failure to pay him for work done. Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is live on all our affiliate stations. In the Upper West region, we're on Tumpani Radio 88.5 in Nadoli and Chirapa 96.1 FM, also in Chirapa. In the Upper East region, we're on Recast 92.1 FM in Bongo Namu. In the Northern region, you're listening to us on North Star Radio 92.1 in Tamale. In the Northeast region, we're on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalirugu. In the Western region, we're on Beach 105.5 FM in Takoradi. In the Ashanti region, we're on Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM, all in Kumasi. In the Volta region, you're listening to us on Sela Radio 97.1 FM in Dabala and Holy FM 98.5 in Aflao. And in the Savannah region, we're on Kasha 99.5 FM in Damongo.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for staying with us this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. Now, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abu Jinapor says a total of 6 prosecuting witnesses have so far been called in the prosecution of Chinese kingpin Aisha Wan. The Chinese is being prosecuted by the state for engaging in illegal mining. Speaking to journalists in Accra today, Samuel Abdullahi Jinapor is very much interested in prosecuting Aisha Wan.
The matter to do with Aisha Wan, the prosecution is being waged in a very spirited manner. The Attorney General is taking a personal interest in the prosecution of Aisha Wan, and I've been very interested in that as well. I've been to court to witness the proceedings in court, and I can report to you and the country that the prosecution, the state, has called 5 witnesses as we speak, and the prosecution is going to call a 6th witness and then at the next agenda date. And that should tell you that the prosecution is being waged in a very spirited manner. Because as we said from the very beginning, we want to prosecute this matter with the vigor that it requires so that it will serve a clear signal, both in the country, particularly the countries where we have most of the troubles when it comes to illegal small-scale mining, that Ghanaian law will be applied and applied to the letter. So be rest assured that the prosecution is being waged and being waged relentlessly. And we are hoping that when it's all said and done, we'll secure a conviction and therefore justice will be done for the good people of Ghana. So that's the response I can give. The question.
That was the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abdullahi Jinapo. Now we go to Parliament, and today the Health Minister was supposed to appear before the Committee of Health to answer questions on the shortage of vaccines, but he was unable to make it. We go over the phone lines to speak to our parliamentary correspondent, Ni Ayukwe Okain, to tell us more. Good afternoon, Ayi.
Good afternoon, Wilma.
What are some of the reasons given for his absence today?
So, recall last week, that was 23rd of February 2023, the Health Committee of Parliament wrote a letter summoning the Minister of Health as well as the heads of the health agencies, that specifically the Ghana Health Service, the National Health Insurance Authority, the Global Fund, Finance Ministry, as well as the Vaccine Control Program, to appear before the committee on Tuesday, which is today, 28th of February. And this was due to concerns regarding the shortage of vaccines across the country. And we're expecting that these heads of agencies and the Minister of Health would appear before the committee today. But that did not happen. We sat here since 9 a.m., which was the advertised time for the meeting. And the meeting actually started around 11 a.m. with the chairman of the Health Committee, Nana UFE, speaking to journalists to tell us that the Health Minister could not attend to the committee, as well as some heads of agencies, except the National Health Insurance Authority that appeared before the committee. All the others could not make it, and he indicated to us that no communication has been received from these heads or the Ministry of Health. But then when he made a call to the acting chief director or the chief director at the health ministry, he was informed via the phone that the minister was occupied with other business. So if possible, the date should be rescheduled to next week, 7th March, for him to appear before the committee. And that was the information we had from the chairman of the committee. But as to the other agencies, there was no explanation from them. And a member of the minority group on the committee, who was the former minority chief group, as Mohammed Mubarak indicated, that this was very disrespectful to be invited by the committee regarding this particular, serious matter that is currently ongoing in the country, and for the minister not to attend before the committee. That was very disrespectful. So if possible, the Minister of Health should be subpoenaed to appear before the committee to answer the questions regarding why we are experiencing vaccine shortage in the country. So the committee suspended sitting, and they have indicated that they want to decide, have a meeting right away, and then ensure that they send a letter to the minister inviting him as soon as possible to appear, if possible today, to answer the questions, because this is a serious matter that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. So the committee has actually suspended sitting after they had an engagement with the National Health Insurance Authority. Now, officials from the National Health Insurance Authority, so there's an institution that is also mandated to provide part of its budgetary allocation for the acquisition of vaccines. And they indicated that they have actually paid over 71 million Ghana cedis from the 72 million Ghana cedis that they are expected to provide for the acquisition of vaccines. So they were distracted after they answered these questions, and the committee suspended sitting. So pending what the committee would decide next, I would want to engage the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, on what next the committee would decide to do next. Honorable, you're welcome. Yes, sir. Thank you, my brother. So we know the health minister could not appear before the committee, and suggestions that he should be subpoenaed to appear before the committee to answer questions regarding the shortage of vaccines. You have currently suspended sittings. What next?
Okay, so just like you have stated, the chairman has directed that he must be subpoenaed to appear before the committee latest by 2 p.m. That's why we are all hanging on around to wait for the minister, because we think that this is an urgent matter, and that we don't think that we have to drag it for a very long time. And especially so when you have a ministry with 2 deputies and the chief director, we don't see the reason why we will not have any official from the Ministry of Health to come and respond to these questions. So we invited the National Health Insurance Authority people. Per their formula we approve in Parliament every day. There's allocation to the procurement of vaccines. And so they also have come, they have appeared before us. They've given us a chronology of payments they've made so far. And there are still 1,001 questions for the ministry to respond to. So we are waiting.
Okay, so you are still certain to...
Yeah, till the minister appears. If he doesn't come, the next thing will follow.
Okay. We know that the business committee also scheduled him to appear before the House on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, to answer questions about the same issue. Could that not be the reason why he wants to wait till tomorrow?
No, but he doesn't determine when the committee should sit. So it's only courteous to get back to us and then see, like you are saying, we should all think through. You understand? He's a human being. Probably one or two things may come up that may not allow you to come. But even beyond the letters we wrote to them, I engaged in one-on-one. So it will not be out of order for him to pick a phone and call the chairman or myself, and then we have a conversation. So if there is a need for us to probably postpone it, why not? Or for us to merge to appear before, the whole House to explain these matters, why not? But not reaching out to any of us who will come and sit here, other agencies present, and you will not come. I think that's not fair.
Let's look at the matter in issue. Shortage of vaccines. Yeah. How critical is this?
Very critical. Very, very critical. Because these are vaccines with respect to the 6 killer diseases. Okay? And these vaccines cannot be bought over the counter. They are strictly protected. And therefore, if there are shortages in the system, and they are time bound in every child's life. So if we don't have some in the system, it puts the lives of those young children at risk. We're talking about health. So people will die. The last time we recorded the death of, a child by these killer diseases, especially measles, was somewhere in 2003. So we have succeeded in eradicating it completely from our country. Where are we now? So I believe that the minister should come and respond to the question so that and you see, this matter has become an issue of public interest. I know that you, Citi FM, you've been pursuing, Citi FM and Citi TV, you've been pursuing this matter, and some of your producers have had a cause to even, call me to speak on the matter and all that. So everybody is interested. It's a health issue.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. So, Wilma, you heard the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Coleman, and was speaking to us on the absence of the Minister of Health before the committee, and also the need for the Minister to appear by 2 p.m. to answer questions regarding the shortage of vaccines. Wilma.
Thank you very much for that. That was our parliamentary correspondent, Ni Ayikwe Okan. We have the voice of the chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament, Nana Ayu Ifri. Let's take a listen to what he's been saying.
You would have come in attendance with the Ghana Health Service, the Vaccine Control Program, the Director of Budget, and also the National Health Insurance Authority. We invited the National Health Insurance Authority, which will be interesting for some of you to know, and therefore you have to let you know that they have a part of their budget that sits on what we call non-core, mandated by the Act, usually not to exceed 10% of their budget. Now, that provision of non-core, stakeholders have interest in them in the health sector, among which we find the Ministry of Health, which seek for 72 million for vaccines in the country. And therefore, it's of interest to know that wherever the Ministry of Health will get money for vaccines, the National Health Insurance Authority, as part of the non-core funding, allocates some amount for vaccines. And that is why it's of interest to see that we have invited the National Health Insurance Authority. I'm getting you to come home and dry on the issue. Unfortunately for us this morning, the Minister of Health is not here. The Ghana Health Service is not here. The Vaccine Control Program, not here. and we have the National Health Insurance Authority. Business will, however, go on.
Nana UFEA is chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament. Meanwhile, the former Minority Chief Whip and a member of the committee, Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, describing the absence as disrespectful, urged the committee chair to issue a subpoena against the Minister of Health.
I'm of the firm belief that this committee should issue a subpoena because we are mandated by not only the Constitution but also our standard orders. If we invite state agencies or any persons to appear before us as Committee of Parliament and they do not respect the committee, we'll move to the next stage. And the next stage is simply to issue a subpoena so that you don't give them any option than to appear. And failure to do that, then you follow up with the necessary consequence. So, Mr. Chairman and honorable colleagues, it is my belief that because of the importance of this matter, it is only fair that we issue a subpoena on the Minister and the Ghana Health Service so that they must mandatorily appear.
Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka is a former Minority Chief Whip and a member of the Health Committee of Parliament. Charles has more stories.
Affected residents of Saturday's rainstorm, which destroyed some properties, including houses in Tafiatome in the Afajato South District of the Volta region, are yet to receive support from the District Assembly and NADMO. Assembly member of the Tafiatome electoral area, Godwin Agbeku, who spoke to City News, says the affected residents have moved back to their various homes despite their bad state. He says they are still waiting on authorities to provide support.
So since Saturday, when the incident happened, and since then reported to NADMO up to today, Tuesday, we are yet to receive any support from NADMO, and well, we are still hoping that they will hear our plea and come to our aid. As of now, nothing has come yet. Well, there is nothing has changed since there is no help from anywhere. It has been a stressful situation. There are those who are staying with their families uncomfortably, other families. And there are people too, because of the uncomfortableness of the whole situation, they have moved back to, few of them have moved back to the rented house where there was no roof. So they will stay there and manage some few things, and then in the night they sleep outside. Which is not a very good situation, but of course there is no help anywhere, so there is nothing they can do. They are just looking up to God that if there is help will come anywhere, so they will be able to get themselves sorted out of this situation.
You heard Assembly member of Tafiatome electoral area, Godwin Agbeku. Meanwhile, Deputy NADMO Director in the Afajato District, Fafa Achu, says the organization is working together with the District Assembly to assist the affected residents.
Let me say, a team went there to cross-check what really happened. And then my aspect is to just write a report and then forward it to region. And the region will do that, and then I think we'll give feedback to national. So that's how, in case maybe anything will be given to the victims, that's how it's going to follow. And if the assembly is also having any support for them, we have to work together and then provide them with all that. So we are waiting on them for a feedback, please. Yes, we are waiting on the assembly. This CEO was there yesterday, and he promised that they will surely see to the situation. All I can say that they should just pray that things work perfectly for us to come to their aid.
You heard the Deputy NADMO Director in the Afajato District, Fafa Achu.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News right here from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Now, some stories we've been bringing is that the Health Minister, Kweku Agyeman-Manu, has failed to appear in Parliament to answer questions on the shortage of vaccines across the country. Also, government has reaffirmed its commitment to prosecuting Galamsey Queen Aisha 1, as 6 witnesses have been called so far. Now, still ahead in the bulletin, Tamale High Court sets April 4 to begin definite hearing of procurement breaches case involving officials of the Northern Development Authority. Do stay with us. We have more shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Now, the Tamale High Court has set April 4, 2023 as a date for the commencement of the definite hearing of the case involving 3 officials of the Northern Development Authority and a private businessman who are before the court for procurement breaches revealed in the Special Prosecutor's investigative report. According to the court, the case will continue on 5th and 6th of April as well. The court on Tuesday, 28 February, during the case management conference, went through all the documents filed and mentioned in the witness statements, the documents the prosecution intends to rely on. After the case management conference, counsel for the accused persons and the state prosecutors told the court they were satisfied with the process. Meanwhile, all 4 accused persons were present in court. Here is the counsel of the second and third accused persons, Joseph Bemka, speaking on today's proceedings.
This morning's business has been to do what we call case management, which we just finished. What it means is that we've gone through all the documents the state intends to rely on from the beginning to the end of the trial. And the case has been appropriately adjourned to 4th, 5th, and 6th of April for definite hearing. So it is expected that on that date, the state will call the first witness and give the testimony for counsel to be able to cross-examine. So basically, today's business was for TMC or case management that has been done successfully by all counsel for the accused persons. They have been appropriately corrected, and those that are not available will be made available to counsel at the right date as indicated by the Honorable Court. So as I indicated, on the 4th, 5th, and 6th, we will begin the fireworks from there. The testimonies will begin to flow and the cross-examination will consequently also follow. Then the case will take its course until the determination is fully carried out.
You heard the counsel for the second and accused persons in the trial of CEO of the Northern Development Authority and 3 others, Joseph Bemka.
Now, spokesperson of Christian Achu's family, Robert Ani, says a date for the funeral of the late footballer will be fixed by the close of today. According to him, the decision is to find a suitable date that favors government, the Ghana Football Association, Black Stars, the family, and other stakeholders. Robert Ani has been speaking to Citi News' Evans Ofochu-Manso after meeting the president yesterday.
1 week has been confirmed for the 4th of March as the Ghana Association by 7 a.m. proceedings will start. And we are expecting all dignitaries and all sympathizers to come sympathize and to mourn with us. And then for the date itself, hopefully by close of business day today, we will get the actual date and then we will let the general public and the media know when the funeral will actually take place. But so far, so good. Everything is on course. The 1 week has been confirmed. Plans have been made. It will proceed accordingly.
What potentially could have caused the delay in fixing the funeral date?
You know, the GFA also have their calendar, and there is an upcoming game, I think, on the 24th or the 25th, one of them. So, thinking that all that is being considered before a date is actually fixed. And then, of course, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, we would also have to look at his calendar. Then a date is fixed that to be suitable for all parties. So I believe it's not a potential that is causing the delay, but I think critical look is just being
careful attention is just being paid into fixing of the day so that nobody will be left out. That's what I am thinking.
We know the state's the presidency says he will give a state-assisted funeral. Do you know what that entails?
No, so far, state-assisted funeral, we don't know what that entails, but they made it clear to us from the very day the remains touched down. His Excellency, the Vice President, told us that they would collaborate with the family and whatever assistance they would have to give, they would do it. So we were made clear right from the airport that that is going to happen. So whilst meetings are still going on and deliberations are still being made, I believe we will come to a conclusion and we will arrive as to what Party A is supposed to do and as to what Party B is also supposed to do.
We understand there is a funeral planning committee. Is the family part of this committee?
Yeah, of course, the family is part of the committee that is being set up. It's not a very large committee. I don't think it will even be more than 10 people. It's just the stakeholders that are involved, the state, the FA, and the family. I think those are just the three people. Three parties involved in it.
We know his wife and children are outside the country. What are the plans to get them involved in the whole 1 week observation and as the funeral?
Well, when it comes to the wife and children, for we as family, the most important thing for us now is to make sure that they are emotionally strong to go through whatever they are going through. That is the most important thing. Mental health is also important. We all don't have the same strength when it comes to dealing with grief. People are slow to respond, others are quick to respond. So the most important thing for the family now is to get the children and the wife strong for them to withstand whatever shock that has happened and for them to go through whatever they are going through. That is our priority now, and I believe that should be the priority of all of us, instead of looking at when this is coming. For now, I don't think that is very important. What is important is to get them ready emotionally, physically, mentally, to go through whatever thing everybody is going through, be it the burial, be it the 1 week. I think that should be our priority.
You heard the spokesperson of late Christian Achu's family, Robert Ani, in conversation with City Sports' Evans Ofuchumansu.
Now, junior high school pupils of the Akopa MAJHS in the home municipality have been forced to study under the hot sun after their classrooms were locked up by the contractor of the 2 3-unit classroom blocks completed in 2021. The contractor locked up the school over government's failure to pay him for work done and wants to be paid immediately. There's more in this report by City News' Desmond Selassie Ago.
This is the Akwepa MA Primary and JHS in Akwepa in the home municipality. Construction of these 2 3-unit classroom blocks started in 2012 and were left abandoned due to the non-payment of the contractor. The project was re-awarded in 2016 to a new contractor after the previous one left site due to non-payment. The current contractor also alleged that funds are yet to be released several months after completion of the project. This led to the closure of the classrooms by the contractor.
It is not in our interest to see the children out of the classroom. It is never in our interest to deprive the community and the children of education. We are at this point because the MCE has taken a stand which nobody understands. And the way forward is for the MCE to tell us why he's not going to ratify the project for payment to be made. If that is done, what's our business? We open the place for the school kids to use. It's not in anybody's interest. The president of the land has taken a very bold step for every child to be educated. And if his appointees will not make that materialize, I'm afraid the president's vision for this country in terms of education will be defeated.
Assistant head teacher of the Akwepa MAJHS who spoke to City News said, the closure of the classrooms will affect academic activities. He noted that they have no alternative than to study in the open.
In fact, it is a very sad day for us today to to see this happening to our dear students. We are in the middle of the term. We are preparing seriously towards the term's exam. Unfortunately, we received the news that the doors are being locked. In fact, we have no other alternative as we speak. We don't have any other place to go. So we just have to close down the school and then wait for what the government will do for us. And it is very sad, very, very sad. And we feel, especially for our dear students, that we are preparing towards the end of term exam. And especially we also have the Form 3s very soon. Day 2, we have a lot of topics to catch up with before they write their exams. And now this is the situation. So in fact, we really don't know what to do.
Assembly member for the Akwepe electoral area, Joseph Boache, spoke to Citi News on the issue and called on the whole municipal assembly to intervene.
This project, the Akwepe JHS project, started in the year 2012. That was in April. Unfortunately, according to the contractor, the payment had never been effected fully. There is a 6-unit classroom block, but because of lack of classroom facilities, we decided to build 3 here and take the other 3 to the other community. So it's a 6-unit classroom block. But unfortunately, the payment was very slow to my knowledge. It came to a time when classes were being held under trees. So I pleaded with the contractor to give it to us to be using as they continue with the project. So as of this year, the contractor told me payments have never been effected. So this afternoon, I had a call from the headmistress that the contractor is on the site to lock the doors. And it is a very disheartening situation as we talk now. There is nothing we can do more than to pay him because the amount is overdue. A project started in 2012, more than 10 years ago, more than a decade. So we don't have anything to do more than to plead with him to come and open the classroom for us to enhance effective teaching and learning.
Meanwhile, the whole municipal assembly says the contractor erred and must follow the right process to get the issue addressed.
Ethically and professionally, I am told by my works engineer that is how it is done, that it is not his fault that the money was not paid at the time and the job was still in progress, and this is his final payment. He shouldn't forget, he has not completed the job either. When I asked, there is a difference between a finished construction and then a completed construction. That project is called a finished construction. It's yet to be completed, and he must be advised accordingly that before he brings any other thing to me again to approve his certificate and other thing, the job should be completed and handed over same.
Let me say the contractor in the sense that every contract has its own language. So if you know you submitted the claims, which is a contract has to be ratified and it's not forthcoming, you have to come to the assembly and find out as to why the signing of the claims is not being done. And honestly speaking, there isn't any contract document to peruse at the office. This is a contract that has a consultant. The consultant has to be advising the client what goes on. And at the time of the award of the contract, the current MCE wasn't at the post. And there's no document available for him to substantiate what you are calling for. So what we did is totally uncalled for, to the extent that we're going to lock up the classroom.
People say at the Akwepe MAJHS will have to for some time study in the open following the closure of their classrooms by a contractor. Teachers and students here say this will heavily affect academic activities. Reporting for Citi News from Akwepe, I'm Desmond Selasiago.
Now we're joined over the phone lines by the Assembly member for Akwepe electoral area, Joshua Boache, to tell us more on this. Good afternoon, sir. Many thanks for joining us. Now, how are the pupils coping with the closure of the school?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to our listeners.
The closure of the school took place on Thursday last week, and it was around 1 p.m. When the classrooms were closed. But we relocated the teachers and the students to the next block. But fortunately, on Friday, teaching and learning continued. Then yesterday, which was Monday, the classrooms were opened for the students to get back to the classrooms. So the process or the incident did not affect teaching and learning so much. So as I'm talking to you now, the classrooms have been opened and teaching and learning continues, life continues unabated in the school.
Does that mean that the contractor has been settled?
Yeah, according to the contractor who called me on Sunday, he said the letter that had been on the table of the MCE, Honorable Bossen, for some months had been signed. And for that matter, he was called to come for the letter, which will be taken to get funds for the necessary procedures to be taken to effect payment for him.
Does he know exactly when he's going to receive it? And is he okay with the fact that it's been signed and then he knows he's going to get it?
And that one, my sister, I can't tell much. It is only the assembly engineer who can give authentic information on that.
So class is ongoing. Schools, students have occupied the classrooms as we speak.
Yes, madam. Even this morning I was on the campus and everything returns to normalcy. Teaching and learning have started, and it doesn't have any negative effect on the academic work.
Thank you very much for that update. That was Joshua Boache, who is an assembly member for Akwa Efekpenyuai electoral area. Charles has more stories.
Let's go to Nigeria. Opposition political parties in that country are protesting results released so far by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The parties say the results have been compromised. APC candidate Bola Tinubu is leading in the presidential election after results were released in 14 of the country's 36 states. Mr. Tinubu has won over 44% of the tallied votes. His main rival, Atiku Abubakar, has almost 33% of the votes. Labour's Peter Obi has close to 18%, having caused an upset by defeating Mr. Tinubu in the biggest city, Lagos. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the Labour Party have claimed there is a lack of transparency with the new electronic voter system. Here is the national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure.
The processes leading to our election and our electoral process has been marred with irregularities and therefore produces very bad leadership. And it is because of this that people decided that to correct this process, it will be of importance to be able to transmit these election results directly from the polling unit, because elections are known to be manipulated after you leave the polling unit. And therefore, the process can no longer be corrected because those elections are already manipulated, wide-scale manipulation. As we speak now, elections are still being manipulated. Today, in Bayelsa, in Rivers, in Imo, name them, in Nasarawa, election results are still being collected and taken to government houses for manipulation. So it's an incurable process that you cannot correct. Where do you start from? Is it the results that have been manipulated that you can correct? So the best thing to be done is for us to repeat the process. After all, if you send your child to school and the child fails, he repeats the class. So INEC should repeat the class since they have failed their exams, because this is a major test from INEC. And we had expected that the process would be done in line with the electoral process. And so since they have failed, it is incorrectable, and therefore the process should be repeated. And this also brings us to answering the second question: why the cancellation of the results, which our friend from Arise asked Kamaka. It's the same response. The process is marred with irregularities, and you can't correct the damage that has been done to that election. The election ordinarily was peaceful, would have been the best of elections, but INEC itself willfully, deliberately decided to destroy that election. And therefore, it is irretrievable, and this should therefore be cancelled, and it will be repeated. Calling on Buhari to save. Buhari is the commander and president and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces in the country. He controls INEC, no doubt. We believe that he has a say in this process, and he can call the INEC chairman to order, because he appoints him. And we believe that if things are not going well by any agency of government, he has the responsibility to intervene and ensure that things are done properly. Thank you.
That was the national chairman of the Labour Party in Nigeria, Julius Aburi.
We are joined over the phone lines by a Nigerian journalist, Ibrahim Masu, to tell us more on the elections. Good afternoon, sir. And what's the latest on the elections this afternoon?
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, the coalition currently 10 states have been results have been announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Coalition was meant to resume by 11 a.m., but they came out and apologized and said it will start by 2 p.m. 5 states, results of 5 states had arrived, the coalition center, and we are waiting for 5 more by 2 p.m. The coalition announcement of results is going to commence. And in that period, shortly before you got to the just I could hear the voice of the Labour Party chairman. They are holding a joint press conference currently with PDP, saying that the INEC chairman should step down, that the body has not been transparent in terms of result transmission, and that fresh election should be conducted. So that's the latest so far. And results coming in from different states is still going on. Announcement of results from state INEC office is still ongoing. Like last 20 minutes, the candidate of the Labour Party just won Delta State, and that's a big blow to the opposition party, which is the PDP. That's where the vice presidential candidate Okowa is from. Ifeanyi Okowa, the governor of the state, he lost his state to the Labour Party. So you can see that the Labour Party that people were saying they don't have structure, they're actually gaining some ground and winning some states that originally belonged to PDP and the APC. So it's still all fuzzy at the moment.
Now, we know the electronic voter system was meant to speed up the process, but it looks like that's not the case. What could be the problem?
Basically, what INEC has not come out to say. Okay, yeah, sorry, they actually came out to say they had issues with network glitches and all that. That's why some of the results were not transmitted to the portal. But as at the night of the election, which is February 25th, the website is back up and results are being transmitted. But the two opposition parties, which is Labour Party and PDP, are saying otherwise, that the results are coming into the INEC portal, but they are saying the results they have on the portal is different from what their political agents got from the field. So with that, they are saying the election results have been manipulated, that the announcement of results should be stopped totally, and a new election be conducted.
All right. Thank you very much for that update. That was a Nigerian journalist, Ibrahim Masu, giving us an update on the latest on the election results that's trickling in. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead, we'll go to the Volta region to tell you how prepared the region is for the upcoming 66th Independence Anniversary. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
More. It's something we're promised a lot these days. But what does more actually look like? Well, in Emirates Economy, it's endless entertainment on the biggest screens in the sky plus live sport. That's more. Gourmet cuisine that gives you a taste of your destination, served with free-flowing drinks. That's more. Special meals and toys for kids to keep your little explorers happy. That's more. So whichever way you look at it, more really does mean more in Emirates Economy. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Push! Congratulations! A bouncy baby. It's time to feed your baby.
Yes, I want to thank you for your advice to go for the COVID-19 vaccination during my pregnancy. I was worried, but the way you assured me helped me a lot. I had my peace of mind from the fear of getting seriously sick with COVID-19 and also carried my pregnancy to full term without any complications. Now I have a bouncy baby.
I'm glad you took our advice. You see, every pregnant woman needs to know that the COVID-19 vaccine is safe for her and her unborn baby.
You are right, Auntie Ness.
There are people going around spreading rumors.
Yes, so all kinds of wild rumors and misinformation. Look, I got pregnant after my first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Went for my second dose while pregnant, yet I carried it full term and just delivered a healthy baby. I will go for the booster on my first postnatal visit.
You were right not to listen to them. The vaccine protected you and your baby from severe COVID-19 illness and hospitalization and can protect all pregnant women and their unborn babies. Hey, please, attend to your precious baby.
My beloved baby.
The COVID-19 vaccine is safe for pregnant women and their unborn babies. Protect yourself, protect your baby, get vaccinated now. This message is from the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service with support from USAID and partners.
Charlie, whatever you do with your data, do it twice because Vodafone is giving you double data in the Vodafone Too Much Family Package with a top-up of only 120 Ghana cedis in addition to your monthly Vodafone fixed broadband subscription. You will get twice the data for twice the fun and experience. 100% bonus data for your broadband is exactly what Vodafone fixed broadband is giving you. This means it's double the experience when you browse, stream, and download. Yes, you heard right. 100% bonus data with just 120 Ghana cedis top-up. That's what double data gets you in the Vodafone Too Much Family Package. Dial *900# and follow the prompt to subscribe or visit fbb.vodafone.com.gh or top up on your My Vodafone app.
Vodafone, further together. Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Northeast Regional Minister, Yidana Zakaria, has raised concerns at the level of devastation at Wenchiki in the Tripoli district following some disturbances in the area last week. Gunshots were fired during the enscarement of a sub-chief for the people of Nyangbade at the Wenchiki Palace. The incident left 3 persons, including a military officer, injured and claimed some lives. The regional minister, after paying visit to the area, urged the residents to embrace peace.
People were injured, including a military man, houses burned, foodstuffs lost, animals, other properties destroyed, and several people displaced. This is a sad development. And I think that the responsibility lies on me as the regional minister. The responsibility lies on all political authorities to condole with the people of Tripoli for the sad development. And all of us together will try to see how we can handle the situation to restore peace and calm in the area.
Yidana Zakaria is the Northeast Regional Minister. Now, with barely 6 days left to mark Ghana's 66th independence anniversary, the Volta region is getting ready to host the event. Repair works on town roads and the quick completion of Volta Regional Youth Resource Centers are but a few of activities taking place in preparation towards the celebration. Let's touch base with my colleague Benjamin Aklama to tell us more. Benjamin, many thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, tell us how the region is preparing for the 66th anniversary.
Roads are being patched. Several town roads are being patched day and night, getting ready for the celebration. But what has been amazing is the very quick completion of the Volta Regional Youth Resource Center located at Adaklu-Chiepe here in the Volta region. The second phase of it is about 92% complete now. And our understanding is that by Monday, the 6th of March, the facility will be very ready to host the rest of Ghana to celebrate Ghana's 65th Independence Day celebration. Beyond that, we see the painting of some government facilities. Places are being cleaned, lawns are being mowed, just to get the place ready, the region ready to welcome dignitaries from across the world and indeed from across the country.
Now, aside from the regular parade, what other things should participants be looking forward to?
So because the Volta region has become known as a good place for tourism in Ghana, a lot of tourist attraction centers and hotels are putting together packages to welcome and entertain Ghanaians beyond the regular parade we have. And so the tourist centers, for example, the Amajaffa Canopy Walk Way is getting ready to host a number of visitors from outside the Volta region. The hotels and resorts along the coastline are also getting ready to welcome people from the other parts of the country, as well as other eateries and places of entertainment in the regional capital of Ho and Adaklu are getting ready to welcome people. So there is going to be a lot of rich cultural display beyond the entertainment of the parade. We are going to have Bobobo nights and Bobobo activities all across the area. There are also planned treats to some of the tourist centers I've mentioned, and also a rich display of food from the Volta region. Talk about the akole, the yake, the abolo, the banku. Eateries are getting ready to put on display a lot of food from the Volta region so that people who are coming from without the region can have a taste and a feel of the culture of the people of the Volta region.
Now, we know that with this, there's going to be a lot of cashing in with people coming in the region and all. How are the people preparing for that?
Indeed, like I tried mentioning earlier, all the businesses that are especially entertainment inclined are getting ready. The Dakluto tours, for example, have planned an activity to entertain people who would want to exercise from walking from Ho to the Daklu Mountain, and those who would want to hike. And it comes at a relatively low fee, but they are getting ready to cash in. The hotels are ready to cash in on the people who are coming. My understanding is that it is now very difficult to even get a hotel booked in the regional capital of Ho, because all the hotels are seemingly booked up, and that's a lot of cash coming in. People who are selling our wares, the clothes from the Volta region, especially the Kente. We know the Agotime area is very known for the production of quality Kente, the fabric we call Kente. And so they are also massing up to produce a lot to put on display, and as much as possible, sell a lot to people who are coming in. And so much more. The drums that are produced from here, the entertainers are getting ready to cash in on it. Everybody is trying as much as possible to catch either a peso or two from the activities of the celebration.
Thank you so much for that. That was my colleague Benjamin Aklama bringing us up to speed with the Volta region's preparedness to host Ghana's 65th Independence Day celebration.
Now, the executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Dr. Kwabena Kokofu, is calling on stakeholders and the media to help create awareness on the causes and effects of climate change. He made this remark at the launch of the Climate Change and Green Economy, which is slated from 27th to 31st March 2023. According to him, his outfit is collaborating with the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology to educate as well as demonstrate the country's commitment to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
Agency, in conjunction with our mother ministry, that's MESTI, we've put up some programs just as been outlined. and the sector minister, under the marching orders of the president, have launched it today. So we expect partners, including the media, the broadcasting, and to join hands with us so we can reach out to every person within the country. We want as many people to understand and appreciate what climate change really is and what impacts it has on our livelihoods, and how can we, in our own simplistic way.
That was the Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Kobna Kokofu. Now, authorities of the Ghana Education Service in the Wa West districts of the Upper West region are worried about an acute shortage of furniture and other teaching and learning materials in most basic schools in the area. According to the District Director of Education, over 70% of the 309 basic schools in the district are without the required number of furniture compelling pupils to sit on the bare floor. Our Upper West Regional Correspondent has more in the following report.
Access to good quality education is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. The Constitution under Article 38 states that the state shall provide educational facilities at all levels and in all regions of Ghana, and shall, to the greatest extent feasible, make those facilities available to all citizens. However, basic schools in the Wa West district appear to be missing out on this right, as they have no furniture to sit on during instructional hours. City News checks in some of the schools indicate that teachers are conducting lessons in dilapidated classrooms that have no furniture. The Wa West District Director of Education, speaking at a short ceremony to receive furniture from the District Assembly, bemoaned the situation, saying it has adversely affected learning outcomes over the years.
We have 309 schools in total, 110 KGs, 111 primary schools, and 88 JHS schools. So this is a huge number of schools that we have within the directorate. And less than 1/4 of these schools can boast of furniture. If you go to some of the schools currently, you can't find a single furniture in some of the classrooms. Children are still lying on their bellies to write. Most of the time when you go to do inspection at the school, you just feel like weeping. Because if this is the way we are treating the younger ones, then our future might not be the best. Will you blame the child if he doesn't have a desk to sit on and write? If he goes to write the exams and fail, will you blame him?
The Wa West district scored less than a 20% pass rate in the last BECE. The district chief executive for Wa West, who presented the furniture on behalf of the assembly, decried the situation and indicated that it is of great concern to all stakeholders.
Our basic schools are challenged with so many problems, and that hinder the progress of teaching and learning in the basic schools. The district assembly is supposed to ensure that our schools have adequate learning facilities that will enable them to learn well and write the BEC exam and pass properly. And so we have started tackling these educational challenges one after the other.
That report was filed by Citi News' Upper West Regional Correspondent, Latif Mahama.
And that's all time would allow us for on the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. The news was also live on all our affiliate stations across the country. For more news, you can log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I am Wilma Obuobisa Coleman, and this afternoon I was here with
Charles Owusu Kumi.
Many thanks for doing the listening. Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News. Do have